They did it. They finally, really did it.
The Madman.
You maniacs! You pushed him! Oh, damn you!
Alright.
Oh,
Alright.
damn you all to hell! No, I'm actually happy for Bray Wyatt. I really am.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
Oh, me too.
I'm,
Me too.
I'm happy, but I'm unhappy that it had to come at the expense of AJ. But I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. At the expense. Yeah.
At the expense of
AJ's my number one.
At the expense.
AJ's my number one.
Mm-hmm. At the expense of of these two.
But we were totally rooting for Bray
Mm-hmm.
because he needed it,
Yeah.
and we did not think it was gonna happen.
I don't think anyone thought it was gonna happen.
It's kind of like, yeah, you know, our bros if AJ's gonna make it, but we'll root for Bray.
Yeah.
Didn't happen that way.
Did not. But
yeah, I'm wearing my John Cena shirt.
You're.
Because I don't think John Cena sucks.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. Only the
I know, just split.
Only the dedicated smarks really hate him.
But yeah. Truthfully, my AJ shirt hasn't come yet. So.
It'll come here eventually. But we have some gifts to exchange before we continue.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I think I'll go ahead and go first. I know my place, don't I?
Well, I've given you the option.
It's no big thing. Well, you know, you haven't been boasting at all. Normally, you're pretty full of your gift.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can't. You know, like they can't all be zingers.
You're totally fucking playing me. He's underselling it. He's finally learned to undersell the gift.
Am I? Like it's. Just give me the fucking gift, okay? Just all right. Oh, you got me Taco Bell. That's nice.
If that's any indicator to what it is.
Oh, is that a Luke Harper? No, it's not a Luke Harper. All right, there's a coat. Weird face. It is a. Oh, you got me a Carlito.
You thought it was gonna be a Luke Harper, didn't you?
It's like no, because the famous wrestling gifts.
There you go.
You got me a Carlito.
And it's not with minus the cabana.
Mine was better. Mine was better. You got
yours has that one has an apple in the hand.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to be cool, man.
When it comes to Carlito,
you don't want to be cool.
It sells itself.
You don't want to be cool. You do not.
Yeah. Not quite as amazing as the one he got me, but you know what?
Carlito for Carlito, I get it. It's
an eye for an eye, Carlito for a Carlito.
Mm-hmm. I shall treasure this.
Yeah. Keep the bag.
I think the thing that really bugs me, or no, bugs is the wrong word, but the thing about this action figure for me is that his hair is made out of real felt. Oh, I feel that. It's not plastic. It's like an actual like.
Oh my God, you're right. It is. Yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Oh.
It's freaking felt.
Oh, that is harrowing.
That's like a special edition.
Yeah. I'm glad you thought of me that way. Fuck Carlito. But here's yours for you.
Oh, it's all wrapped and everything. Look, talk about contrast.
I didn't have any real good wrapping paper for that.
It's like Christmas, remember? It's like you actually. Oh, Jesus Christ! How is this going to be wrestling related, Ben?
Just open it and you'll find out.
So this is the first fucking thing I see is this goddamn Shrek face.
Just open it and find out.
Is this even WWE?
No, but it is. It is the Shrek Wrestling Showdown.
Wrestling Showdown includes 12 attachable ropes
to make a ring.
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. Hey, remember that scene in the first Shrek movie where they had a wrestling match?
Yeah.
So they made a little toy figure out of that scene.
I gathered. You know how to win my heart. Wow. I didn't see it coming. Definitely surprised me there. All right. Yeah, it's
Oh, if only this.
Shrek wrestling one of the nights. Yep. That's wrestling. Hell. Oh, fuck you! God damn it! Forgot you had this.
Oh, he's scared of Shrek.
I'm not scared of Shrek.
Yes, you were scared of Shrek.
I'm not frightened of Shrek.
You were frightened of Shrek.
It's more the mask without the rest of it. It's like when somebody wears a Shrek mask, it's just, yeah, like that. It's just really creepy. I mean, it says all kinds of disgusting, frightening things.
Oh, man. That is beautiful. Oh, this has been great. This has been a great day.
Shrek anywhere outside of Shrek.
I love that the first thing you saw when you opened that gift was Shrek's face.
Yeah, you did that perfectly. I opened it up right on the...
I didn't know... I didn't plan for that to happen. That was a beautiful sign.
You didn't hand it to me directly that way?
I didn't hand it to you directly in any way. I did not intend for you to open it just to see Shrek's face.
Well, that was a good one. I gotta give it to you. That was a good one.
Ow! Oh!
I have way too many weak spots. I see you're not wearing your T.J. Perkins shirt tonight.
And you're not wearing your Dennis Rodman shirt.
Fair enough.
We are at an impasse at this moment, so I think it is time for us to start.
Good game.
Mm-hmm.
Good game, man.
Good game. Now, to sum up Elimination Chamber as a pay-per-view is a tale of two pay-per-views, really. Because the first half was just bland, mediocre, who gives a shit matches. Just all down the card. Up until about the, third to final match. But we'll go over them pretty much anyway. All of them anyway. But the interesting story throughout this entire pay-per-view was the Carmella and first off, starting on the kickoff show, plainly making it obvious that she does not want to be there by being on her phone all throughout the show, and just doing her damnedest to make sure that she is not interested in what's going on. To have Ellsworth come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, I got us tickets to the show." Ellsworth,
He got them tickets to Elimination Chamber.
but apparently they had a skybox. Like they had tickets to the skybox, so they just watched the show in the skybox, and periodically would cut up to the skybox to see how they're doing. And
that was the story arc. It was kind of the
romantic story.
The only consistent story throughout the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and it was really kind of
it was weird.
It was unnecessary.
It was weird and unnecessary, but even when Ellsworth knows how to be lame. I love that. He knows how to be lame, and even when he's doing something cool like dropping the mic, he does it lamely. Like he has the mic. You drop a mic like this. That's how you drop a mic. You do it sideways. He does it like this. He turns it the wrong way around and drops it. Perfect. Like the perfect amount of lameness.
It's like he's educated in lameness.
Yeah, he is like the John Cena of lameness.
Some would say that that's contradictory.
Some would say that's an oxymoron.
Redundant.
That's a redundant or an oxymoron, whatever.
Rather redundant. Yeah.
But the point is, that man knows what his role calls for, and he plays it perfect to the T.
Yep.
But the rest of the pay-per-view, or at least the first beginning matches, were an exercise in how the fuck do you build a pay-per-view out of such a depleted roster, or at least such a non-roster. And it starts off with the kickoff match, which was better than expected, but wholly unremarkable. Well, up until the last set. It was Kurt Hawkins versus Mojo Rawley. Really, how good of a match could this really be? And it turns out, not very, up until Mojo decides, you know what? I am just going
To punch him in the fucking face.
Yes. Now, we've seen stiff shots
Yeah.
in WWE. We've seen stiff shots in Ring of Honor. We've seen stiff shots in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But this shot, this running Superman punch shot that clearly connects, this was a real punch.
It's just a haymaker right to the face.
Right to Kurt Hawkins' jaw. And I'm surprised, like, Kurt Hawkins is going to pick the teeth out of his own shit for the next 2 days. He... Good on Hawkins for taking that punch. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that was a fucking cleaving blow. I mean, not cleaving, but it was just a fucking... It was like Mojo Rawley came down from the sky like a meteor and just struck him right in the face. That was fucking savage.
Yeah.
Now,
And that made the match.
one punch.
Kurt Hawkins joined the One Punch Club.
No two future wrestlers. Sometimes the most devastating move
is just a fucking punch to the face.
If you know how to throw a fucking punch, you know, you follow the not the Revival. Those guys know how to throw a punch.
No flips, just fists.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But otherwise, it was a pretty unremarkable match. Other than
Mojo getting hyped.
Yeah, like Mojo doing his own version of hulking out. But there is one particular moment
He was coming very close to Hulkamania. The only thing he missed really was the you. I mean, he was like, ah! Punch, no sell.
Although I will say that towards the end, and actually more towards the beginning of the match, where he was being led around the apron, where Kurt Hawkins wanted to throw him into the barricade, but for some reason just kind of reversed trajectory, threw him into the ring, and was nearly counted out for being thrown into the apron. And the reason why they had to reverse trajectory is that
because they were going to go into the cameras.
Yeah, they were going into the camera guys, and they just had like, oh wait, we can't do that. Whirl around.
We're gonna change our GPS here and reroute.
Mm-hmm. Wrong way.
Left. You missed your turn. Rerouting.
But other than that, the match was fairly...
Almost just like, take him over here. No. How about over here?
Like I would have like, you know how some wrestlers like to play to the crowd by like, do I do this or do I do this? I want to see somebody try to do that when leading another person around the outside of the ring. Do I put him through here, or do I put him through here?
I hate to say, but it almost sounds like the Bushwhackers
or
thing.
This. No, that
where they do the battering ram, where he takes him and leads him across the ring with the headlock or whatever. And God, why am I bringing this up?
Oh God.
So moving to something not that.
And before we do that, though, I do want to bring up this quick little story of mine. My brother brought his son around here a few months ago, and your toys, despite your best efforts, actually have a use, because me and my little nephew played with the little wrestling toys.
So he enjoyed them.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. Like, he liked the little Lego set, the little Lego wrestling set that you got me. But,
well, I mean, they weren't gifted to... I mean, the purpose wasn't to make a gift that was something tailored to his disinterest.
But it's...
so I'm happy.
Yeah. Like, they're little... He's turning 4 this June, and so he's, starting to get to that age.
Although, it was the Lego set, right?
Yeah, that was the Lego set.
It wasn't like Zombie Roman Reigns.
No, he hasn't played with that.
So his taste is still intact.
Yeah, of course.
He's done well. Good.
Mm-hmm. But, so, like, my brother is sitting in the chair right over there, and I'm playing with our little action figures, and we're creating little stories, and my brother's been out of wrestling since probably 1992. So he doesn't know like any of the guys that we bring in. Like, he didn't know who. Well, first of all, he didn't know who Mr. McMahon was.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, like, Vince was just a color commentator, but he saw the Bushwhackers, and the Bushwhackers was the only wrestlers he remembered. And I'm thinking, I don't know how marky my brother was back in the early '90s, but it was a tough time being a mark in the early '90s. Because you were marking out for the Bushwhackers. Or Tugboat. You were marking out for
stop.
Mantar.
Stop.
Marking out for the Goon. Sparky Plug. Yeah, I have a feeling I know why he got out of the fandom.
Although I gotta say, if your nephew picks up, the Carlito doll or finds that and is like, I like this. I want to be Carlito from now on.
Oh, and I looked my brother dead in the eye and said, I'm sorry, but your son's retarded. Aw, he's retarded.
And he spits in the face of people who aren't cool.
Fuck you, Carlito. Just a simple little fuck you, Carlito. First match.
Just apples. Just bites and just loves. He eats his apples now, though. Good for his nutrition.
At least he eats his apples for the first few bites.
The first few bites, and he spits it out in your face. So.
You don't want to be cool, mother. You do not want to be cool.
You see, that's just too horrible of me to try to influence him in that way just to get you for Shrek or whatever.
It's like his first day of grade school, he brings his apple to his teacher and just goes, "You don't want to be cool, teacher."
Oh God. Well, I gotta say, honestly, that Shrek gift wasn't actually that bad.
No, not that bad, but
it's in context. It's Shrek in the context of Shrek.
Yeah, but the moment of sheer terror I gave you.
I wasn't sure how that was going to tie into wrestling, to be honest. I was really, really kind of curious to find out how WWE and Shrek came together. But no, I remembered then at the last second that it was just wrestling in general. It could be any
we've given each other plenty of gifts that weren't WWE.
Cross brands is as far as it's gone, but now you've broken the actual brand wars.
Brand wars, yeah, like wrestling in any form. It has to be a wrestling gift.
But that gives me more ideas.
There we are. So, first match on the card, Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. Now, this had the makings of a great match, and it didn't live up to my internal expectations.
No, mine either.
But it was, by all accounts, a very workman-like match featuring two workhorses. One who I think is still feeling the effects of trying to shake off the rust.
Yeah.
And one who just feels like she's out of the title picture right now. And so she is.
Well, I think.
So she wants to remain. So I think there's a fire under her ass to remain relevant.
Fire, yeah. Straight fire, yeah.
Straight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So to see these two kind of feel each other out and learn each other.
Yeah.
Was interesting to witness, because I feel like this is just the beginning of something. This even though they came out with a clean victory for Becky, I don't feel like this is the last we'll see the two of them together and just battling. And,
although go ahead.
Oh yeah, but Mickie still, even if she's still shaking off the rust in some areas, she is still on point.
She looks really good. She's fit. She's really fit for how late she's going back into this.
Oh yeah, 37. No, it's not.
Yeah,
I mean 37 isn't old, but in wrestler years.
No, 37 is not old, especially these days. But in wrestling years, wear and tear, it takes its toll on your bones and stuff. So it's She's done well. She's doing really good. She didn't have a single botch or anything like that. She had her warm up in NXT with that match, and I mean, it's I also she is coming from a different era of wrestling, so there's a little bit of adjusting to newer applications. So I think she's good. Judging from her last two matches I've seen her in, or three matches, I don't think she's gonna have any problem. No. She's delivering pretty damn well. That, what is that, cartwheel kick? And
oh yeah, the cartwheel kick, and she cartwheels to get out of a wrist lock.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, very, very agile, very, very athletic, and just a litany of submission holds and moves from both women, from hammerlocks to headlocks.
Oh, yeah, she did Mickie did a new kind of lock. I don't recall.
It was like a half Nelson chokehold.
And it had a bit of an elbow lock thing going on.
It was almost like a cross-faced chicken wing in certain.
It was almost like three things going on at one time.
Yeah, I've never seen that hold before, and the way it reminded me a great deal of Samoa Joe, the way he would just attack you like a spider monkey, just get on your back like Yoda on Luke Skywalker and just choke you.
And that's a big guy to get on your back like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So to see Mickie James kind of have that I'm gonna get on your back, I'm just gonna choke the life out of you. Seeing that was very, very much a nice thing to see, especially at
a comment on Becky Lynch's attire.
I was gonna let it go, but no.
Well, you were gonna let it go.
I was gonna let it go.
I don't think it was bothered you.
No, of course not.
No, it bothered me a little bit because going on about wrestling attire is kind of one of my things, I guess. But Becky Lynch is one of those wrestlers whose styles are a multitude of different ones, but not always right on.
Mm.
Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're a little off. And tonight was a little. I wasn't really digging the black V of flowers or whatever it was print, the embroidery. The rest of it was beige, but it wasn't like the same color as her flesh, so it was a little bit off. I wasn't really sure what was going on with it. God, I sound ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was gonna let it go, but it did bother you.
I feel like maybe if Gavin was here for this one part of the segment, then it would be like
they would be
like yeah, man, that was just whack. But
look, I'm not one to make catty comments about a woman's wardrobe, but I will say that there are many masculine things about you, but the femmiest, gayest thing about you is definitely your adherence to criticize a woman's wardrobe.
I'll give you that, but. Yeah, it was just weird. It looked like something you buy at Kohl's or something. It was just like, what are you wearing? Why are you wearing that?
It's like, oh,
like,
honey.
girl, what are you doing?
It's like, oh, honey, the special you had at Marshall's should not be worn in the ring. China.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe go back to the old thing. I really liked the singlet or the attire she did for one of the events. Anyway.
Yeah, but, she's still kind of massaging in the steampunk aesthetic, but it's like it's going too far, then it's regressing back, then we're eking back more in, step by step, and it's just...
Her main attire she has normally is pretty good. I like it, but the one I really liked was where she had this kind of like Cry for Dawn theme going on, where she had like these, I think it was like a jean kind of stretchy jean print things, and then she had like a singlet, if you know the Cry for Dawn comics.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then she also has the big bright red hair, just like the character.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't tell. I thought maybe that's what they were going for, and I liked it.
But then
I'd love to see that kind of stuff.
But then regress back again. One thing I do want to say, like the commentary for Mauro Ranallo is now beginning. He used to be great, but here he was easily the worst I've ever heard him. And no more. And it began here in this match when Mickie goes for a pin, but the ref notices, nope, Becky's arm's underneath the rope. The pin doesn't count. But Mauro said, and I quote, the ref noticing that Becky's leg was underneath the rope. It's like, it wasn't her leg, it was her arm. Mm-hmm. You could not be more wrong.
Yeah, I was really confused. I didn't even see her arm. Because he was mentioning the leg, so I was looking at her leg.
No.
And the camera was kind of focusing on it too, I think. So I was just kind of, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like, no, it was her arm.
What is the ref going on about?
Yeah.
She's completely out of the ropes, but I missed it. You saw it.
Yeah, it was, thankfully. But, so, the match ends when Mickie James, for some reason, I still don't know why she did it, decided that now was going to be her war cry, and it sounded more like a fire alarm.
Or like internet connection.
Yeah, that kind.
We're mean.
Very, very mean.
We're mean.
But Becky surprised her with a roll up and 1, 2, 3, which made me believe that this isn't going to be the last we'll see of them, and that's a good thing because I do sense greatness between these two. They need some more time to really feel each other out. Not everyone's going to be able to pull out an AJ John Cena match.
Yeah. On the first
go around. So from there we move on to one of the more confusing matches, purely from a booking standpoint, the 2-on-1 handicap match between Apollo Crews and Kalisto and Dolph Ziggler. Now, from a perspective of purely from like how in the world do you keep Dolph Ziggler around, because all he does is lose. And again, Ziggler, to his credit, doesn't mind the fact that he loses all the goddamn time. Mm-hmm. He doesn't.
Well, I mean, if you're going to, you better not mind.
Yeah. So how do you keep yourself, worthy of being invested in as someone wrestling? So he turns heel, but his heel work even though
He still loses.
he still loses, so now he's just even more pathetic, which I guess is still a character trait, I suppose. But but here's the thing: if he is so pathetic that he keeps losing all the goddamn time, that it still takes you and another guy to pin him. What does that say about you two? About you, Apollo Crews, and you, Kalisto?
Yeah.
Exactly. So even though logic would dictate the 2-on-1, the two are going to win, yeah, they won, but that doesn't really put any momentum behind them. It's just...
Well, the way they went about it was Ziggler comes out and assaults Kalisto from the get-go, right out the ramp.
Oh, yeah.
And takes him out of the equation. And then it's basically, the whole night was basically just an Apollo Crews versus Ziggler match. And later on, of course, Kalisto comes to and very awkwardly and obviously sells his way back to the ring. Mm-hmm. With some of the worst selling I've seen in a little while, gotta be honest.
Oh, yeah. It was hilarious how much Kalisto could not sell his back. Now... on the flip side of that, the match between Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler, I knew was in good hands because even though Apollo Crews is blander than toast, he knows how to work a match.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Apollo.
He is
like, you're not quite Lashley bad,
but you are bland. You are one bland mofo. And Ziggler, is probably the hardest selling man working in the business today. No one sells like Ziggler. He oversells to the point of ridiculousness, but it's entertaining in its own right in some ways.
Yeah.
But to see them work together is, at the very least, entertaining, and is at the very least entertaining, if not, just sort of like an exhibition match, because nothing's at stake, and nothing will ever be it.
Yeah.
Considering the booking between these two guys, nothing will ever be at stake with these two, nothing at all. But there was a time at the beginning of the match where Apollo Crews found an emotion. And that emotion was anger. Anger that...
Yes.
There was anger that he, Ziggler, basically blindsided his friend Kalisto, and he is, he's going to teach Ziggler a lesson. And there was just a moment where you got invested because, hey, clear emotion. Okay, he feels angered that his friend got hurt, and now he's going to beat him up in retaliation. That makes perfect sense. But then the match kind of lost that, and it just became another match.
Yeah, I was really rooting for Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
That was upsetting. But still, Kalisto is so unintentionally funny. He is so unintentionally funny that I can't not like him. I mean, from that moment that he was trying to find in TLC, where he was looking for I will never stop bringing this up. It is so goddamn funny. Where he goes out and tries to find the chairs that are all set up right there, and he goes under the ring. He's like, where are the fucking chairs? Oh, there they are, right behind me, all set up. I mean, the guy is just. You can't get that stuff. You can't book. You can't work that kind of humor.
Like he is basically picking up the botch monkey slack that was Sin Cara. It feels like ever since he lost the U.S. Championship belt, which thank fucking God he did. Ever since he lost that, he became the numero uno butt monkey of the entire SmackDown locker room, if not the entire WWE locker room, and no better place for it. Especially if you're going to have promos like he did the day he was drafted. Jesus Christ. I still can't believe I
finally saw that. You showed me that.
Yeah,
that was bad.
Yeah, I still can't believe they allowed that to go to air in any way.
I was wondering if they have the same idea we have. They found it so funny they just let it go.
Let it go.
Like
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do luchador things.
God damn it! God damn it! Woo!
Runs off like a kid. Oh my God. I mean, his name is a derivative of the moon Callisto, which is the most pummeled by asteroids planetary body in this galaxy,
or at least the solar system. So that,
yeah. But Maybe it is in the galaxy. I don't know.
I don't like who knows. It'll take an immortal cosmonaut to find that out for sure.
But seriously, there's a layer of humor here
that was not present in any of the other matches on the card.
And what he did tonight was he was trying to sell his back injury. He gets into the ring, and he's just oh God, it's so bad, and then time for me to do luchador things. Whoop!
And we're like, whoop!
There's his posture. Goes and does flips, bounces off the fucking ropes, everything. And he does a woo! And then he's like, oh! Right! Ah! So painful.
Nobody's that dumb. Nobody's that goddamn dumb. He must be working this in some brilliant meta booking.
No. It's just nobody. I give it. It's hard to sell an injury like that when you're a luchador and you have to do all these amazing feats of athleticism.
But the match between Apollo Crews and Ziggler was basically Ziggler saying, "You know what? I'm just going to work your neck." Yeah. So it was neck break city. There was swinging neck breakers. There was just top rope neck breakers. There was just so many goddamn neck breakers performed on Apollo Crews that at a certain point, you just kind of have to look. That's not like working the leg or knee or arm or wrist.
Yeah.
If you're working on a guy's neck, you're trying to turn him into a quadriplegic.
Yeah. You don't really work a guy's neck.
No, certainly not that way. But it was a nice little story, regardless, just to give this match some kind of identity.
Yeah.
But the best moment on commentary for me was when JBL proudly announced, "By all accounts, AC's not that nice in the locker room." JBL said this. King Dickory himself, Jables. Okay, all right. The absolute gall that Jables had.
That's a mighty something coming from you.
Mighty something to you. That's like Hulk Hogan calling another guy a racist.
You!
Not me. Not me.
You.
Oh. I said it without the hard R, but you.
Yeah. I said nigga.
But match, of course, goes to Apollo Crews and Kalisto, but not without Ziggler getting his last licks in by taking the goddamn steel chair and breaking Apollo Crews' ankle. And of course, the news is delivered with all the solemnity and gravitas that JBL can muster, like he's goddamn Walter Cronkite announcing that JFK was shot. Dolph Ziggler just broke Apollo Crews' ankle. No, he fucking didn't. No, he did not.
I regret to inform the audience that tonight, Apollo Crews' ankle has suffered a break at the hands of Ziggler.
The horrible thing was that the crowd just kept chanting for Dolph Ziggler. One more time! One more! And he's...
Second time this has happened, by the way, that they've gone against Apollo Crews.
Mm-hmm.
That poor guy. He is so good.
Yeah. And Ziggler obliged. He did it again. Oh, well. You'll make it one day, AC. You'll make it one day. The next match on the card I thought was going to be the Drizzling Shits. In a way it was. Because it was sort of a round-robin elimination rule Survivor Series kind of match. Tag team match. They called it a tag team turmoil match for the tag team titles. Now here's the thing about this that really sticks in my craw. American Alpha challenged the entire locker room to put up their dukes and put their titles on the line because they're going to be fighting champions, as faces do. All right. Why? Oh, why weren't they the first ones out? They challenged the entire locker room, and they came out second to last. Why? And because of that, they had to oversell and overbook the ending to keep, basically so they don't lose sympathy.
Yeah, to keep the authenticity of them actually.
Putting something on the line.
Yeah.
Oh. God, the booking in the... All right. There's another match on the card that I consider it to be the worst match and is so far the worst match I've seen this year. But this was the worst booked match. Actually, no, I think I'm debating with myself right now, but right now I'm feeling that this is the worst booked match so far this year.
Well, if you think about it this way, if you're in singles and you say, I'm going to challenge the entire locker room in a match. So I'm going to hold King of the Ring, and the last guy will face me. He beat everybody else, and I beat him, therefore I beat everyone.
That's something like Triple H would do. And even then, he would still whip out the sledgehammer early.
And that match with the person who beats everybody else is going to be tonight, right after he pins the last guy.
So it's like Money in the Banking it.
It's not even like the guy gets to rest before his next match with you. They literally have people wear each other out and take each other out before they fight. With a name like American Alpha,
pretty much some baby bird bullshit right there.
Yeah, and that's the booking. No, I like American Alpha because they're really solid tag team. They have some great suplexes.
Yeah, what's not to like? They are a solid tag team. Yeah. Solid
Jordan and Gable just eject people.
Exactly. They are solid tag team, but the booking surrounding this match is so unbelievably stupid. We had to suffer through, well, I wouldn't call it suffer, because, everyone gets their shit in these kinds of matches, but we had to sit through fucking, Rhino and Slater versus, at first, the goddamn, what was it, Breezango. And that was, and the only entertaining thing about that match was that there was this one moment where Johnny Curtis was, it was Heath Slater trying to pull Johnny Curtis over into a cradle, but he would not go. He was just kind of stuck in a loop, for 5 goddamn seconds.
Yeah, the 404 error.
The 404 error, the blue screen, something ain't happening. We're stuck on repeat.
You could somebody make a gif of that, and so we can just replay it. But I mean,
glitch in the Matrix
way. You can make a video of it because it does it on its own. It just goes on and on and on. Just put a loop on that.
You put it with that epic saxophone music, beep, but that was the only real memorable part of that first part of this round robin match. They get out, the vaudevillains come in, they get squashed.
Because of course,
although Aiden English whipping out Professor Pants there.
Yeah, he had a padding for his knees, the elbows on the slack, sport coat.
Like the leather padded elbows of a professor's jacket. So we call it Professor Pants. And in my mind,
he's the only guy who can make beige pants look dark brown.
In my mind's eye, I'm imagining a character named Professor Pants.
Professor Pants.
Just pants, pants by its own word is just funny.
So wear those again in English, and that's your new nickname.
Wear it again, and you're going to reach Steve Austin levels of push. I swear to God.
I swear to God.
But from after that, it just became Usos beat Heath Slater and Rhino. Then American Alpha came in, and they beat the Usos, but
Thankfully.
Yeah, and then the Usos just are sore losers and beat the crap out of them.
Because that's what they do.
Yes, that's what they do, and
then they pull out their guns and bust caps.
Then the Ascension comes in, and it looks like they're going to win, but they don't because the baby faces make the comeback. Which, if you're going to do that anyway, have them come out first. Yeah. Is the only reason why you didn't do that was because then you would have to have Heath Slater and Rhino versus American Alpha, and you didn't want to put face against face?
Yeah.
Well, then why did you put Heath Slater and Rhino in the match to begin with? Why did you even book this goddamn match? See what I mean? The booking is just fucking awful.
I really am not happy with the tag team scene right now.
No, I don't know anyone who is, especially on SmackDown.
Just the Usos are the worst of it for me, but they're heels now. So I kind of buy their just complete, cheating attitudes and over-the-top cheating. But when they were faces, their cock-block wrestling it wasn't appropriate.
Now it is.
Now it is. And I guess I have to give them credit because they have legitimate heat with me. I don't love to hate them. I just hate them.
Well, whether you love to hate them or you hate to hate them,
it works.
It works. You have an emotion, and that's what wrestling is predicated on. But before we leave this match, one last thing. I don't know who. I think it was Connor of the Ascension came out with the most gigantic, Praetorian face guard that kind of looked like it belonged in a Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
Something like a Morton Joe would probably keep on his mantle.
Kind of like probably something they'd have at Spirit after the movie came out.
Probably. And then he just kind of takes it off. I don't get it, really.
He comes in like most things. You come to the ring and you discard anything you can't wrestle in. Although if he had wrestled in that...
At least...
my mask!
Ow, my mask! No, it's cheating. He's breathing in analgesic gas, a la Bane.
It looks really stupid, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it really does.
It was bad. Because if the mask had like other parts or something that integrated somehow, but it was just the mask. Like nobody cared about our wrestling style until we put on the masks.
Like Bane wasn't. Bane was based off of Luchador, so.
So there's this backstory to Bane before he had the mask on and he wasn't selling.
I'm not too familiar what's going on with Lucha Underground, but I gotta think that there was a Bane ripoff character going on there somewhere. But
by the way, Ascension almost won.
Almost.
They almost did, and they won their last match leading up to this. They came out on top.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can't remember who they pinned. It was Big Juju, though, who they were able to take out.
Yeah. Right before we lead out of this, I bring up Mauro Ranallo again. He, for the 5th goddamn time over the last week or so, he mistook the Elimination Chamber for Hell in a Cell. And he fucking Jables corrected him again. And as well he should. Why do you keep doing this? It doesn't even sound the same. The rules aren't the same.
At least they're both a cage. There's that much.
There was also a steel cage match, but you don't call that Hell in a Cell either.
When TLC came around, I don't know if he was he even commentary.
No. I don't know where
he probably would have called it Hell in a Cell.
So Mauro, for fuck's sake, get it together. You're making me look bad. And you're making me look back by being on your side for all those months. So, stop calling Heath Slater and Rhino Beauty and the Man Beast.
That implies that...
Heath Slater is beautiful?
He's not ugly.
He's not ugly, but he's a weird looking ginger guy. He's not
Tyler Breeze.
And he's not Johnny
if it
Curtis.
was Tyler Breeze and Rhino, that would be the name.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Man Beast. Actually, that'd be interesting.
Would be kind of interesting. But
Tyler Breeze and Rhino.
I get why you call him the Beast, but why do you have to affix the man prefix to that?
Tyler Breeze could just come out to the ring on his back, or Rhino, like when he gets injured, he picks him up and takes him away like King Kong. And
actually, I'm picturing it more like a BioShock situation where Tyler Breeze is being leading around the big daddy that is Rhino.
Pumps him with freaking adrenaline or something.
So look, Mr. Bubbles.
Here's some Eve.
Look, Mr. Bubbles, an angel. But it's Tyler Breeze saying that, and he's going around to wrestlers who flopped and trying to, suck out their blood with his little syringe nipple. That's how he gets big and strong.
See, this is way better. Way better. Way better.
And when Rhino doesn't get up and after he's been tossed out of the ring, there's Tyler Breeze. Get up, Mr. Bubbles! Please! And that's when Vince McMahon just grabs him and he's trying to force himself off. No!
You gotta let him go. You gotta let him go.
I don't want to be a fashion police. I tweeted this.
You just had to bring that.
Yeah, like I tweeted this, but this was perfect timing. I can't believe this. So the camera pans up on Tyler Breeze, and he just has like his little white tasseled boots, and fucking Gabe just says, "Well, at least they're not wearing their stupid police outfits." He immediately pans up and he's wearing the outfits, and you just like fucking lost it for like 5 seconds. It's like, God damn it!
Couldn't have timed that any better.
That was serendipitous. That was a sign of things to come. If I ever,
I was like, oh, Tyler Breeze he's wearing his stuff from his NXT days. Just pan up, then there's the fucking fashion popo.
The fashion
costume.
popo. Mm-hmm.
Got me. You got me.
Now, this right here is probably this is the worst match of the night. From an in-ring perspective, from a wasting our time perspective, just out and out the worst match of the night, and the worst match of the night, and the worst match so far this year. And I am including the match between the Shining Stars and the Shining Stars on Raw the last week, where they were just there for just filler. Filler matches at least had a place. I can't imagine
worse than the Shining Stars.
Worse than the Shining Stars, yes.
Shining Stars weren't even in the fucking tag team elimination match.
Nope. The Shining Stars on.
Well, that would have been hilarious if it was instead of Ascension. You know, it's hilarious if it's Ascension, but if it had been them coming in to pick the bones.
Yeah. So, and I'm telling you this because it's Natalya versus Nikki Bella because they've been feuding for what seems like years now.
I'll give you this much: it's not a surprise that this was the worst.
It's not a surprise, but I was shocked by how bad this movie was, because, and as much as I hate it when I agree with David Otunga, because Otunga is literally the worst thing about commentary that's going on right now. But Otunga said that Nikki Bella is underrated, and you know what? She is. Nikki Bella has the stigma for being the longest reigning Divas champion, and she was the most prominent female wrestler in a time when female wrestling was at a complete nadir. So she has that fucking albatross across her neck, and that's not fair for her. And that's not fair of her, especially considering where she started and where she ended and where she is right now.
All during a time I was not watching.
Yes. So from where she started was like she was a Budweiser model that WWE hired to be a diva. So she.
Oh, so that's her grassroots. Okay.
Like that's her grassroots, and then you know what though? She learned. She put effort to learn how to wrestle.
If you look at it that way, yeah, she sure as hell did. I wasn't aware that was how she got
did. Yeah, she got it. She wasn't like Natalya, where she grew up in a wrestling family and then learned from her father and her uncle and her grandfather, and nothing like that. She was a model who took a paycheck and stuck with it long enough in a very, very dangerous sport. And she learned to wrestle. Now, you might criticize her ability to wrestle, which is completely fair, but let's give her the credit where she's due.
I agree.
She could have phoned it in. She could have been like any of the other goddamn faceless, like nameless, faceless divas over the past 20 years. They did the exact same thing. Looking at you, Eva Mendes. Well, it's not
Eva Marie.
No, not Ava Marie. Well, Ava Marie too, but I'm thinking about Rosa Mendez. I forgot her.
Late Ruthless Aggression era.
He would have been late Ruthless Aggression. Oh God.
I think that would be when I was tuned out.
Yeah, but the point being that like that actually kind of goes to prove my point, like how disposable she was. I can't even recollect her name, but goddamn, she was terrible. Holy shit.
Oh, was that the person who pinned somebody?
No, that was not. That was not that her.
Not that person.
No, she was just fucking terrible, and she was obviously hired for her looks.
Oh, I know. I'm getting the image now.
Yeah. There's a great promotional image of her, like in a San Francisco 49ers cheerleader outfit.
Okay.
I'm completely blanking on her name.
Dark Times.
Yes, Dark Times. She could have easily gone that way. Collect a paycheck. Be the Divas champion because she's the prettiest of the pretty girls. fine. But she learned, and she could hold her own. Now, she's not in the league of some of the upper echelon.
Well, that is Nikki Bella.
Yeah, Nikki Bella. But she learned, and she's not in the upper echelon of the great female wrestlers we got today. She's not as as well trained or as technically sound as Becky Lynch. Yeah. She's not as overly athletic as Naomi. She's not as the total package like Charlotte. But she is in a place where nobody who saw her wrestle in 2010 would ever think she would be.
Yeah.
And she is. Let's give her that credit.
Good on her.
Good on her. But, for fuck's sake, this match was the very definition of a time waster. Both in terms of what happened in the ring and the outcome of said wrestling match. Nothing happened. Nothing of interest happened. All it was Natalya trying so goddamn hard to be a heel that she was doing everything in the book to try to get the heat on her. Like she tried to start Nikki sucks chants. She was doing, she was
doing skipping.
Skipping. She was trying, like she was
bowing, mocking the "you can't see me."
All of it, just one after another, after another, after another. Just it was so awful.
You can't lay it any thicker than that.
At a certain point, here's my reaction to it. Here's how it is. My first reaction was, okay, she's trying to heal. Okay, she keeps doing it. I was like, all right, Nikki, stop it. You're laying on thick. Then she kept doing it again, and then it started becoming funny, like in a perverse Family Guy sort of way, where it's just like do it too much and it's awful. Do it
like a lot of her matches.
Yeah,
lately,
exactly. But keep going and it's funny. But then she kept even going further than that, and then it became a completely souring. Just like stop it, just fucking stop it, Natalya. You're better than this.
Like your energy bar is already just through the fucking limit from taunting.
Just do the sharpshooter. Get out of this fucking match.
Yeah.
But
when I was a kid, I spammed taunts more than that when I was outside the ring trying to gain my fucking, crowd bar for my special. This is what it reminded me of, when you're just, hitting the fucking taunt button. This is what that is in real life, if you wanted to see that.
Oh, God. And it just ends with a double count out. Well, thank you so goddamn much for wasting everyone's time. Fucking A. I mean, granted, Natalya's a better wrestler than this. I know. I've seen her do some pretty great things. But she has been involved in some of the worst matches we've seen recently. Like, she was involved in that goddamn, Montreal Screwjob reference match.
Oh, don't remind me of that.
Last year. Oh, she was involved in that goddamn, that horrible feud with Charlotte, that saw the debut of Dana Brooke as Charlotte's minion. Then she just kind of quickly escaped television and is probably back down in Florida again, where, truth be known, she belongs. I'm sorry, dude, but she's green. She's greener than a pasture in fucking spring.
Well, I agree with that.
She needs more time down in developmental. That's not a bad thing.
I don't want her to exit the business or anything. I want her to... I want to see her get more training, or any training. God, she's just got pushed so quick.
And this is why you don't hotshot.
Yeah.
So...
I have high hopes that she can pick it up from there. She has a good story.
And hopefully she's gone long enough that we forget that she has a promo. She cuts a promo like a lot of people just... She cuts a promo like she's trying to speak through a drive-thru. Yes, I'm going to win this match. You are going to lose? Okay. Dana Brooke promo 101. But enough. So it was about...
I'm rooting for you.
It was about this time in the card that I realized, oh no. Three of the four matches that we saw on this card were just either either midland or just outright time wasting. And I'm thinking, just get on with just get to the Elimination Chamber. I don't care about the rest of the matches on the card. And then I remembered, oh wait, Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. All right, not much is on the stake. Not much is at stake here, but all right, Luke Harper. It's been a while since you've had singles glory. I remember you being intercontinental champion for a time, but those days have long since been gone. So let's see what you can do, dude. And he hung with Randy Orton fairly well.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't a spectacular match.
No, but it was really it was really nice to see him in singles competition finally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have a repertoire that really sticks out though.
Mm-hmm.
I was really kind of hoping that this would be a match where he breaks out a new move or a new special signature move.
I'm thinking that they're probably going to segment that into further down the line because like this feud is far from over. Yeah. Like Randy Orton wins, of course, but I think this was sort of like an exhibition match to see like, hey, how can you hold your own, Luke Harper? And I'm glad this match happened because I do see some great potential because Luke Harper doesn't look like an athlete because he dresses like a slob, but that's his character.
As we say, looks like Taco Bell smells.
Mm-hmm. That's how I coined it. But he has an ability to be more lively than deceptively lively. Mm-hmm. He's easily like 6'4".
Yeah.
He's easily 6'4" and lanky as all get out. And his ability to land a super kick and a brogue kick and is something to really, really admire about him. And I wish there was more to his repertoire than that, but there doesn't really seem to be. But
and there really was a reason to, I guess, as long as he was just doing tag team and he was the brute. So. Mm-hmm.
But I liked his ability to realize that you don't always have to throw punches to be striking. Like to have a great striking ability. He had the know-how and the ability to sell palm strikes.
Yeah, that was the thing that was a little different.
Yeah,
that I liked.
And that was cool. And that's a little touch that I think goes a long way with the both of us. When you can make the act of just throwing a hand at somebody, whether it's balled up in a fist or pulled back for a palm strike. That little change goes a long way with the both of us. But what kind of sealed it for me for where he could be on a singles push is his ability to sell not only being toppled over ass over tea kettle backwards over a table, but also his awareness of his surroundings by realizing that he's about to hit the barricade, but then he realized, oh, there's people behind me, so I better somehow segment into a stumbling fall so that way I can fall on.
This is kind of like a better version of what happened earlier with the throwing the guy against the apron or whatever. This was This was better rerouting.
Yeah, like a better rerouting. He had the ability to shift his trajectory so that way he wasn't going to crash into a bunch of camera guys or timekeepers. So he just kept away from it and
it still looked good.
Yeah, he still looked good. I mean, it's obvious if you know what he was doing. If you know what he was doing, it's obvious. But it's not so plainly obvious that it takes you out of the action. And his ability to sell a great RKO. When he gets RKO'd out of nowhere, and his ability to keep his leverage on one leg so that way when he could do the little pop as he hits the ground.
Yeah, he did the big Luke Harper.
Mm-hmm. A big Luke Harper.
Sold it like a stunner.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
One of the best RKOs I've ever seen was when Randy Orton was wrestling Dolph Ziggler. And I'm thinking, how in the world does Ziggler sell the RKO? And I'll tell you how he does it. He's going for a jumping uppercut. He goes for a jumping uppercut, but Randy Orton catches him. And so he catches him while he's falling down, RKOs him, and he just goes poof! He nearly does a full half backflip just so we go. He starts forward like this, he goes down, poof, woo!
Oh man. When it comes to selling, he's a luchador.
I haven't smiled so much since WrestleMania 18 when Scott Hall had to have 2 Stone Cold Stunners performed on him for him to go down. And that second Stone Cold Stunner, Scott Hall just kind of, whoo! He pretty much, it was like he was trying to do a Jackie Chan backflip, but he missed and he just landed on the back of his shoulders. I mean, all in all, it was just another exhibition of a match, but it was a match that kind of portended to. It was a match of things to come, and I like what I'm seeing. The penultimate match of the night, Naomi versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oh, yes.
Now,
almost my favorite match of the night.
Now, this was a feel-good moment. It was amazing to see how everyone in the arena was on Naomi's side. Because it felt like they were always on Naomi's side, but they were too scared to get invested because nobody would think that she was going to get the push.
God, it's really a tough one. This might be my favorite match of the night. That's hard to say.
But this, because it was an actual match. Like, from a match perspective, yeah, this was the best match. As far as, like...
Well, I'm not comparing it to, like I did, I think last time I said, against the Royal Rumble as a match. Mm-hmm. Which is not really a thing that you can...
Yeah. I mean, the last event on the card, like, stuff like Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, those feel like events.
Yeah.
Versus, like, one-on-one matches. Or even, like, triple threats.
Well, if that's the standard, then this was easily my. There's not even any doubt.
Oh yeah.
Like, they didn't even need to do anywhere near as good as they did for this to be the best match.
Mm-hmm.
But holy crap, this could have been in a really excellent, all the way across good pay-per-view, and came out on top. This was really, really good. It was Alexa Bliss versus Naomi.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we said
a dream match for me.
Because no matter who wins, you feel like you win.
I can't root really for either of them. Yeah, either way, it's a win-win. This is two people who I have been solidly backing since I started seeing them in NXT, or since I got back into wrestling. Naomi has been around a little longer, so it made sense what happened. And I'm glad. I'm really glad.
And as I said, like, the entire arena got behind her when she got the win. It was a good feel-good moment. It was a good pop. It was a good, nice pop, and I like it when the happy ending is the preferred ending for everyone in the building, not just what the WWE hopes would be met.
And it was a good fucking match. It was excellent.
It was filled with nice athletic spots. The way that Naomi and Alexa Bliss just flipped over each other, trying to reverse holds and reverse arm drags into holds, into arm bars, into cradling pins.
Yeah, there was not a botch in sight.
It was a very crisp, clean, effective match in that regard. They flopped around each other like a donut of sorts, to quote wizard deer people.
So it was starting the match out.
Wizard people, dear reader, sorry.
Starting the match out, all the way from the beginning, it was good. Alexa Bliss takes out her gum and shoves it in Naomi's face. And I knew this was going to be a heated match right after that.
And Alexa did something that no sane person should ever do. She messed with a black woman's weave. You don't do that.
Oh, shit.
It was real. Like, you know the way that Ziggler worked Apollo Crews' neck? Alexa Bliss worked her hair.
Yeah. Ow.
Fucking ow. And true to professionalism, Naomi emerges with the belt in hand, and she's tearing up from the emotion, and everyone's on her side, and she goes like, she may have teared out
my bob, she may have snatched my bob, but I snatched her title. Oh, that was perfect. And you know what I was saying prior to this is, like, she just needs to get a little bit better on the mic to just be A's all across. You did it. That was perfect.
That was a perfect line for that.
I don't know, spontaneous or not, that was perfect. That was just what it needed.
I'm not quite sure if they decided like, I'm gonna just
like,
go for
I'm
your
just
hair.
gonna fuck your weave up. Like, oh my god, that's painful.
Ah, yeah. Let's see. And then, like, true to the character of Alexa Bliss, and when she wasn't getting her way, she threw this great tantrum. Just like a little kid being, not getting the thing she wants in the toy store. And that, Now you might be saying that kind of puts, like, that's kind of like 2 steps back as far as like women's wrestling is concerned to take it seriously. But on the other hand,
it's her character.
It's her character, and it's heel, and it's a very heel thing to do.
Yeah, I buy it when she does it. I buy it because it seems they were calling her a troll. That was something that Becky was calling her in that feud. So that makes that's what she does.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's nothing like when women start hitting each other.
Well, yeah, but
slaps.
She does that too. She does that too. But like, I know she does that to intentionally get heat on herself.
Does she do that?
Yeah, she remember when she slaps. You don't remember
that stuff?
Yeah, like that stuff you don't remember.
No.
Well,
did she do it?
Yeah, she does it.
Huh. Okay.
She does it, to gain heat on herself because she knows that, like everyone knows that if you do that as a woman, you're just kind of going back to the days of like the diva pillow matches.
Okay, maybe it's because the other person doesn't join in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm recalling then, I guess.
Yeah, because I know sometimes Bayley does it, and so does Charlotte.
I hate it when that happens.
And Sasha Banks really fucking does it, and just like, of course, when Sasha Banks does it, it's I don't know what to call it. I think she legitimately does that.
I hate it. There's nothing I hate more in women's wrestling than the fucking slapping fest, the cat fight shit.
Mm-hmm. For somebody who prides herself on being able to take a bump like a maniac, she really whips out the whole cat fight, slap fight, Friday night sissy fight kind of mentality too much. That's why, that's part and parcel of why I can't really get behind her as a wrestler. But in comes the marquee event of the evening, the Elimination Chamber. Now, this was the moment of the night. And I think we said at the top of the vlog that I'm happy for Bray Wyatt. I am. I don't know, like it's always painful to see who has to be buried in order for somebody to come up on top. And I'm glad it wasn't that AJ got eliminated right before Cena did. I'm glad Cena got eliminated before AJ.
If there was any way for this to go down with Bray winning the event, this was the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because AJ was only second to Bray.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't ask for better.
Can't.
I cannot.
And AJ is still owed a championship rematch. So it could very well be, and then SmackDown, like 1 or 2 weeks from now, that he'll rematch. He'll have a rematch with Bray, and we'll see how that goes.
That'd be really cool.
But then again, so does John Cena. John Cena's owed a rematch. So it'll be interesting to see that go. It could be a triple threat. I'm envisioning a triple threat.
It seems likely at this point.
Mm-hmm. So my thing about this event is that I went from like this emotional roller coaster of like, yeah, okay, kind of good match, and like, oh, pretty good match, and then it started to pick up with the Mickie James, not Mickie James, started to pick up.
Oh, you mean with the entire pay-per-view?
Yeah, with the entire pay-per-view. Then it started to pick up with Luke Harper, Randy Orton. Really picked up with Alexa Bliss and Naomi, and now we're here with to the main event. And I can't think of how it could really be screwed up, because in my mind I can imagine like the title being on pretty much all of them except for Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind, and I guess I wouldn't mind.
No discredit to Baron Corbin. He's way too new in the picture for the title to be transferred to him at this point. Yeah. So the match, the event begins how it should. AJ and John are just tearing shit up at the beginning of the match, and then Dean, wild card that he is, gets in first, followed by Bray Wyatt, then Baron Corbin, and then finally Miz. Now, because of course he's last.
And Baron Corbin is just tearing shit up.
Yeah,
he was
my man.
Now your man. Now
I mean, no, my man, I've been backing him since he came from NXT.
There was a time where you lulled on him when I informed you that he was the king of the punch matches.
I think I agreed with you. I agreed, but I held out that he could do better.
And he has done better. So I will give him that.
I always held out that he could do better.
Mm-hmm.
And he is.
Mm-hmm.
Even his commentary, as kind of limited and bare bones as it is at least on point.
Mm-hmm.
Master of psychology, maybe not.
Yeah, I guess I don't really like Baron Corbin's character at all. Like, he's a lone wolf. Okay, color me.
And
Yeah, look, that's what's keeping me invested in fucking Baron Corbin. That and his propensity, like, we're motorcycles. It's like, fucking.
he's got a motorcycle sound effect in his entrance. I don't know if it goes beyond that, though.
Well, they had a hype package where he's driving around on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But you know, it's more appropriate for him than it was for fucking Undertaker.
You're not wrong.
I can believe a guy like him would ride a motorcycle, that's for sure.
But like, so when five men, even though Miz was released, he was kind of like, he played the chicken shit by staying in the Elimination Chamber. And there's this great shot where Miz is just looking fearful at Baron through the glass, and it's just great.
Yeah.
And the rest of the match has been this great kind of spot fest where wrestlers are punching each other on the fences, leaping off the pods, and doing great acrobatic fighting.
Baron Corbin, basically the doomsday of wrestling. Every time he's defeated, it's like he comes back with a new move.
Mm-hmm. So Dean gets the surprise pin on Baron, rolls him up, and Baron just fucking destroys him before leaving, and Ziggler in a great, not Ziggler, but Miz in a perfect heel move, snipes, like he's...
So setting this up, Baron Corbin has just cleaned the entire cell, or rather, oh god, I'm doing it. The entire chamber.
Yeah, the entire Elimination Chamber, yeah.
And he just gets into like a fucking spear position, aimed right at the Miz in his pod, and he's just like, it's like, you gonna come out? You want to come out and get speared? And the Miz is just,
and
the door opens. He ain't leaving.
He ain't leaving.
I ain't going nowhere. Shut up. No, but so of course, then to my dismay, Dean Ambrose comes and rolls up Baron Corbin for a 3 count.
Mm-hmm.
That pissed me off.
But then, as I said, like, Baron just, wrecks his shit, and Miz just kind of scampers in like a goddamn meerkat, like, I'm gonna snipe the kill, and then he just gets the 1, 2, 3. Then he starts working the crowd by, taking the remaining 3 guys and just, fucking kicking them, kicking them.
Yes, more Daniel Bryan things. And the crowd was actually split on saying yes and no to his kicks.
Which is weird enough, but the best part about this whole sequence is that when Miz gets some heat going, it just takes one attitude adjustment from John Cena and he is gone.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Still not bitter about WrestleMania 27, are you, John? Not bitter about that? No.
And I do have to hand it to Dean Ambrose for, having Baron Corbin job to him, but he went ahead and got eliminated right with him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty professional thing to do. Like, you're going out, but I'm going to go with you.
That is...
So, I good on him for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really you got my back, I got yours. That's cool. I like to see that.
Yeah, great.
That's good professionalism.
Good professionalism there. But all throughout this match are these great little moments, like when Ambrose has AJ up against the plexiglass and he's just bashing his head and
oh god, and you get to see a fucking face print of his like sweaty face it leaves just a moisture spot on
I was like AJ was selling like a maniac on that.
When you can see a face print in the wall, you know that was a real fucking spot right there.
Oh, it was, it was rough. This was a rough fucking match. All through, and then there was also this great little moment where, so there was a choke slam on AJ while Bray Wyatt was getting power bombed by Dean Ambrose. It was like this, it was sort of like a Jacob's Ladder effect where like people are falling over themselves as they're all being toppled over.
You had to get a Jacob's Ladder.
Well, that's what it looks like when that many bodies are moving in that many ways. So
that's true.
So as Miz is dropped with an AA, done, and John Cena starts the Cena comeback, including the double knuckle shuffle.
And it really looked like he was just going to pin everyone.
Mm-hmm. But
like I don't hate Cena, but I also don't like the win streak Cena. Because, I mean, how can you? It's kind of hard.
Yeah. But John...
Predictable is not good.
But this is where John Cena's likability factors in, because he wrestles like a kid would wrestle sometimes. And it was no more apparent than when he got on top of the pod and then did a body splash from the top of the pod, and he leaped like I used to leap onto my brother when I wrestled with him when I was 5 years old. Just
same
like,
exuberance.
And that was...
He's got such a youthful exuberance, John Cena does.
Yeah,
it's amazing that he moves as fast and, still lifts as much as he does. It's incredible at his age. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, again, wrestling terms, not old, but long time.
Oh yeah, like
a lot of wear and tear.
A lot of wear and tear. He's been wrestling since 2003. Like he's been a part of WWE. Been a part of WWE since 2003, as I said. So
yeah, and to maintain a build or even improve on a build that much.
Yep, 15 years. Years makes no difference. 15 years in the WWE. But Wyatt, with the Sister Abigail out of nowhere, takes out Cena. Now
he took out Cena. Not only did he win the match, he took Cena out.
With the Sister Abigail. Now we know, now we're supposed to respect the Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
We're supposed to, not only, did Sister Abigail get Roman Reigns, Cena, during Survivor Series, but Wyatt also, Sister Abigail, Cena and AJ. Picks the win clean from the both of them. Been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Push heard around the world.
I think the only wrestler left who could have a more surprising push that far, that fast, would be Cesaro.
Yeah.
Like, if Cesaro suddenly got that kind of push...
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome, and it would be
so
even yet more flabbergasting. That is yet to happen. It probably never will, but, written in the stars, hopefully.
Even more deserved, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Now, this presents an interesting story for one to speculate about, especially since that Randy Orton is supposed to be set up as the main event at WrestleMania. Whether or not Bray is going to enter WrestleMania with the title belt, with the World Heavyweight Championship, is yet to be decided because of the aforementioned rematches that we brought up. But I am just intrigued to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the story I was hoping. As soon as he took out Cena, I was like, they went this far. The story's got to be better this way.
Hopefully it is. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
So, on the whole, very lopsided pay-per-view. The beginning could not give less of a shit. On the whole. Probably the worst SmackDown pay-per-view in that regard. In the first half. The second half, two pretty good matches and one great event.
The whole thing wasn't like a build-up like you're supposed to do, I guess. It was more like flatline and then just pump.
It was more like slight uphill, then downhill, flatline, and then
resuscitation.
And then dip, then slight uptick, then bigger uptick, and then
yeah.
It was a night of highs and lows, certainly. This was probably I mean, I wouldn't call it erratic because all the bad parts were in the first half and all the good parts were in the second half. Save for like maybe the kickoff match, if you can consider a Mojo Rawley match that's better than expected to be legitimately good. And again, Mickie James versus Becky Lynch isn't something to sneeze at.
It wasn't a stinker. It was perfectly passable.
And perfectly passable, but I guess passable doesn't necessarily equate to good. And it wasn't better than the matches in the last half. Actually, I don't know. I think it was better than the Randy Orton Luke Harper match.
Yeah, technically it was. I mean, we were kind of riding on a high from the fact that Luke Harper was getting a singles and against Randy Orton, so that's pretty up there. So
yeah,
we were pretty happy about that, but that shouldn't change the fact that it really wasn't. For all intents and purposes, it wasn't really that great.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I do have to hand it to Mickie versus Becky.
Mm-hmm. But, like, those 3 matches were just brutal. I mean, just, like, brutally bad. Oh, God, the tag team's in shambles.
As far as I'm concerned, they were all kickoffs.
Yeah. So, that was Elimination Chamber. Probably the most erratic of all the pay-per-views we've ever covered. Not as confusing, it didn't end on the confusing note like SummerSlam did. Didn't leave me fucking infuriated like last year's Fastlane or last year's no, it wasn't Fastlane. It was oh god, Payback. God damn, Payback was awful. Payback was fucking awful. But speaking of Fastlane, that is the next pay-per-view coming up, and apparently Goldberg is going after our boy Kevin Owens. Now that is going to be interesting. I mean, Goldberg still wrestles those kinds of matches he's always kind of wrestled, so there isn't exactly much room for Kevin Owens to get his shit in.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. But
tell them how that spot should have gone. With the list.
Oh, no. The more I think about it, the more that just feels like. The more I think about it, the more I probably shouldn't say that on camera because of reasons that I'll tell you after the camera's off.
Okay.
But anyway, next time we'll see you guys, we'll be at Fastlane in March. So, till next time.